Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
Success is whatever you make it. If you want to be happy, you want to provide for your family.
Live.
You gotta put that work in, man. You gotta go get
Learn.
it. See, listen, this is what I tell them.
Serve.
I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals.
Inspire.
I go out and I go get it.
You're in the right place. You're checking out Chip Baker, The Success Chronicles.
Conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles.
Hey everybody, I'm Derrick Pearson of Love Prince, and you're about to watch Chip Baker, The Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles, and today we have a special guest with us, Mr. Derrick Pearson. Great story. So let's dig right into it. The first question I have is, how do we meet or how do we know one another? And I can kind of talk about that a little bit if you don't mind.
Don't mind at all.
We have a mutual friend that we all kind of believe in the same beliefs, as far as shedding positive vibes and showing love, and that friend connected us, and just we talked, how you talked earlier about when you met him, it's like automatically, it's just like the smell.
Good dude.
Yeah, good people,
Yep.
And same thing, and so just good people, and so really good story. If you could just talk to us about your life story, if you don't mind.
I always, and I tell folks in broadcasts, you always tell people, ultimately you just want to ask people who they are.
Yes.
And no matter how you get to it, it's who are you?
Right.
And there are two things that are common in my life. So I always tell people that one, I'm Derrick, I'm the son of a queen. And I have to act accordingly.
There you go.
I found out later in my mother's life that her given name is Queen Elizabeth.
Really?
So I didn't find that out until late in life, and I said, well, I didn't know. But I always kind of felt like, okay, and now I'm the son of a queen. We all are, but we need that reminder, that thing that reinforces us. And then the other thing is that anybody ever asks me who I am, I have a thing that I say all the time. I am love, and I'm loved. That, if anybody asks you who you are and what you do and what your why is, what your purpose is, love has to be a part of that equation. It has to be a part of the thing. So I was born in Arlington, Virginia, and 7 brothers and sisters. A lot of love. A lot of love in the house. A lot of other stuff too, but a lot of love.
A lot of noise.
Right. And Arlington, Virginia is just outside. It's where Pentagon is, but it's just outside of D.C.
Right.
So you get a little bit. It was a unique kind of situation because it was one of the places where the first group of freed slaves could congregate and meet and live. And they created an area for it. They bought land from Robert E. Lee to put folks there. But also because of the government, it's a very transient area. So it was very diverse. And what I found out as a big part of my blessing was to be in a neighborhood, in a community. I lived in a little place called Green Valley, which was a black neighborhood in Arlington. And it had every bit of flavor and texture that you could ever imagine from a place like that. But also surrounding it and connected to it were these other communities that were different, and they interacted. And again, I'll age myself. I'm 55 years old. So as you go through the civil rights stuff and you go through the 70s and 80s, it changed a little bit. But I found that it's really hard to hate people if you know them. See, it doesn't matter whatever adjective you want to put in front of, or whatever pronouns you put in play.
And they show love.
Yeah, right. Well, here's the thing: if you walk into a room And love is the first thing that greets you.
Oh yeah,
You control the vacuum.
Right.
Right? You that little thing, we all live in a vacuum. And if you put something good in the vacuum, it'll occupy the vacuum.
That's it.
You can wait for nature to figure out there's nothing there and it'll put something in and it may not be good or bad. I always, to my thinking, coaching, broadcasting, or otherwise, it's if I enter with love and I know that's what I'm there for, it's really hard to mess it up. So I went on, I was an athlete, played college baseball. I was probably better at football, but that's kind of how it works. And then you move along, and I always said that I didn't want to work. I wanted to do what, if I did what I loved, I was gonna be good at it, right?
Right, yeah.
Right?
That's it.
And so I went through the process when I was recruited out of college. I was hired by a liaison for Howard University Hospital.
Okay.
And so I started in collections, corporate collections, right? Medical bills and such. And that, they paid me a ridiculous amount of money to do it. But that led to, each thing led to the next thing. So I went from collections to, I wanted to be around sports. And so I learned to run sports bars. And then I became the fix-it guy for whatever thing I was doing in life. I was the guy to come in and make it better. Right. So I had to learn that business. I had to learn
that's
sports.
A good guy to be now.
Right. To learn sports bars and how what group of people, what they were coming together for. It was always love. It was love of their neighborhood, their community. Right. They come in to watch. I'm in DC and I got Texas Aggies up there by 300 game coming to watch their game. So because they love each other, they come and gather. That led to being around athletes. That led to having conversations with athletes as they would come in my bar. And then that led to them recording those conversations, which led to working for the Redskins TV show in DC, which led to when the Carolina Panthers got an expansion team, a buddy of mine said, putting the show together, hey, would you come down? We need somebody. So off to Charlotte I go, each thing leading to the next, right? From Charlotte back to DC, from there to Salt Lake City, in between Atlanta, LA, each thing, a radio show, a TV show in Carolina, working radio in Carolina, TV and radio in DC, TV and radio in Salt Lake City, then learning to use all these words and write and put them together for newspapers, for other radio shows. Right. And then the next thing was weird because as somebody that analyzes sports every day, I wanted to be honest about it. Like I didn't want it to be just hype. I wanted to know what I was talking about. So I said, it's hard to criticize coaches every day if you've never put on the shoes. Right. And so I became a coach. And then I became an executive for these minor league teams, a CBA basketball team, an American Basketball Association basketball team. You're around these teams and you realize, okay, now I got to tell a new truth.
Yeah, the other side of it.
Right? Like you can't, I can't criticize if I don't know. Right. And then that led to finally being able, through all the gifts and blessings that were poured on me, right? I mean, poor black kid from Arlington, Virginia, and you're working with the NFL and the NBA, and I said, you know what? There's another me coming, right? There's another me coming, and I want to help him, but to get to him, I got to coach, and so I went out, started coaching, and I've been coaching 3 sports: football, baseball, and basketball every year ever since. And that's been, I still do radio and TV interviews around. I started Love Prince after I had a little medical emergency situation a year ago. And I started Love Prince probably 2 years ago, just an idea that came along. And I said, this is what I want to do. This is my service. But as I said, I've never worked a day in my life because I've always been in love with the people that I was around. And more importantly, I was in love with my heart. And if I could give that to one person, ever, I've won. Now, I'll take the losses, but I sure enough take them victories.
Right. And the victories are way based on what you're describing, way more than your losses. And then the losses are not losses; they're learning.
The lessons. We say win or learn, never lose.
Period.
All the time. It's funny too because we talked about you get that energy of people, and you talk about how we met through Ortiz, and we talk about that energy, right? And he and I talked about it. And the moment you walk in, it's, listen, bro, we family now. This is how this works. And if you know that if people, I'm an empath, and I've been told that for a long time, that I have a keen sense of people's energy. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it drains me, and sometimes it hypes me up.
Right.
And I've learned to be present, and that if I need to go in that direction, follow the energy. It's good all the time. It's good.
It's amazing too. On that same note, it's great when you can be around like those positive people that have that positive energy and juice. It's like it's infectious. Like you never want to leave those people. And when you have to leave them, it's like you just. It's like a breath of fresh air.
That's the love print. That's the
Right.
That's the very principle of the love print, which is one act at a time. Cover the people in your life in love, so much in love that nothing else will stick. And if I love on you, and then you leave, when you walk out the door, like the smile that you take with you is the love print. And guess what? The next person you meet gets that. They get that. They get all of that. And see, when you know what good feels like, when you know what love feels like, when you know what God feels like, you also learn what the other feels like, and hey, that's not no. Hey man, no. Right? Like, and look, and my testimony ain't that I've always been the good dude,
right.
But because I haven't.
You know what the other
I know what it's like. What they say, you don't know who you are till you know who you are.
That's it.
Hey man, I've been that dude. So I'm not giving a fake testimony when I tell you that this is what we doing. That you learn, and that I think I like that responsibility of being present in every interaction, so that you actually get something from it. Because I'm getting love from you that I'm going to take into my day. And we're going to take this. Right, we're going to take this conversation and give it to folks.
Right.
Who can do some good with it, who need it.
And explain love prints to us. Explain love prints, if you don't mind.
So the idea, it started with one late night. I'm a late night writer, so I just, whatever's on my mind.
Okay.
And one night we just thought, people were talking about carbon footprint. So your effect on this planet while you're here, and the trail of what you leave behind. But that seemed a little impersonal to me. So I said, there's got to be a deeper thing.
Right.
And for me, it was, carbon footprint is not it. If we do it right, it's a love print. If we are aware every day that we leave a trail of us around the world, people we deal with, what we put on them, if we're aware that we, in fact, take our heart in our hands and give it to somebody else for them, then nothing else, then the other stuff really just slides off and it really doesn't matter. And
right.
The logo is a hand and a heart. They work together, and the walking order for it is love and action, action and love. If you remember that a heart, which is love, is an amazing thing. Action is great if it's love-based.
Right, comes from a good place.
If you take one without the other, they're good, but they're not. They may not accomplish what you're trying to accomplish.
Right.
But together, they can accomplish anything. They can. When somebody say, "I want to know if I'm doing the right thing or not," is it love? And it is action. Because we can love a whole lot of stuff, but if you don't do nothing about it, it's not really a win. So through Love Prints, I have created. I've taken some of the things from coaching. Study program that I've developed, that I've kind of, again, we're all a nice community of coaches, right? So
right.
We take a little of the best of all the people that we know. And through that, through Utah, Virginia, and now Texas, taking some study programs that really focus on the young people and how how we can help them in the best way possible. So if you're gonna give me 20 hours a week, I really should have something to say, and I really should give you something for it. So for me, it helps coaches, parents, athletes, teachers involved in it is a study program. It's each of us, whether we're a 4.0 student, 3.0 student, executive, CEO, garbage man, whatever.
Right.
We all have the same 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to get done what we need to get done. We all have the same 168 to work from. And I would tell people, look, it doesn't matter what people say. It's what you do with that 168. So within that, we would teach young people how to manage time. And the one excuse for academically, where folks fail, as parents, as adults, we say the number one excuse for not accomplishing is, I just don't have the time. We all have the time. It's what we do with the time that pays out. So on our website, it has a 168, and structurally, well, I'll go to schools and I'll explain to coaches, parents, mom and dad, listen, what I can do for you is give you structure and help you in accomplishing what it is that you want to do. And no matter where I've coached, and no matter the sport. So imagine different states, different coaches, different programs. I've managed to be around and involve 78% of my student athletes who generate a 3.5 GPA or higher. That's 78%. And a funny thing happens. I always say that you're the same student as you are an athlete. The way you prepare for your sports is the way you prepare for your athletics. And a funny thing happens. 78% of those folks become scholar athletes, not just student athletes,
right.
Scholar athletes. But I also win 78% of my games.
Right.
If they're coachable and they want to learn and they're willing to stick to boundary and they're willing to work together, success happens. And that's, for me, for Love Prince and study program, I have a Smiles program where my teams all mission and task that they're going to make their house, their community, their school better. Better. And their job is to go out and create smiles. And it started out with a group of kids who I challenged to, can you guys create 5 smiles a day? Well, the good, right? So Love Print starts to take over.
Right.
And that 5 becomes 20, and that 20 becomes 100. And I had a baseball team that did it probably as well as anybody. And they generated, ready for this, 4,000 documentable smiles in a week in that school where they were carrying books and opening doors and, the mission. All of my athletes have responsibilities and they learn. So we teach them life skills. So every player that's ever played for me knows how to do his own laundry. You know what? You're going to make it easy for the people who love you. Right? Be smart enough to love the people that love you. So you need to take care of mom.
Yes.
You need to take care of dad, right? We all have the 3 people in our lives who love us first and loudest. Mom, grandma, and then the teachers and coaches who tell you the truth. Not what you want to hear,
the real,
but what you need to hear.
Right. Like it or not.
Right? And then you become smart enough to appreciate it. Right. So we create smiles in the community. That's Love Prince, is the idea that we as coaches, parents, teachers, mentors, educators, uncles, brothers, that we have the opportunity to add to every day. If we're aware of it, and it's a real simple thing, and this is why I tell people, when I walk into people that I don't know, I tell them something. I say, let me explain something to you about who I am. My smile is undefeated. See, I can walk into a room of folks, right? My smile is undefeated. And so is yours, right? And once you learn the power, of that interaction is real and it happens all the time. And then the other thing that happens is, through Love Prince, we created bracelets and shirts and that kind of stuff. And sometimes you're walking into students or parents who are having a tough day, teachers having a tough day. And what happens is my athletes have them, my friends have them, and I always tell people, I always have it on. And so as a part of that, what we say to people is that what I want you to understand is that you matter and that you have power and you have purpose. Never forget that. But it's more important for you to have this than it is for me. So what I do is
Put it on them.
put them on them. They take it with them. And you'll never, from this point forward, and it may be, once it's on forever. Even if you take it off and give it to somebody else,
Right.
it's still a reminder that no matter when you look at it, you realize that for a moment, there was a connection. You heard me, I heard you, I felt you, I gave it to you, and you go on your way. Because then you'll remember you see somebody that's grinding.
Right.
You know, no, it's all right, bro.
Yeah, you got it.
It's going to be all right.
Just keep pushing.
That's a love print.
That's it. And yeah, that smile is undefeated. What's 3 things that you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
Wow, I tend to kind of cringe a little when people talk about achievement, because I'm a fluid person, and that I want to be present and not, while I cheer and applaud wins.
Right.
But to say that outside of my marriage, my family, my daughter, my grandson, my brothers and sisters who battle every day to get through and do well, the personal achievements come from this. I was, like a lot of people, I was a poor black kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of folks, you have your own grinds and your own struggles. And the esteem part of it comes from being able to understand that I'm bigger than where I am. That I reach more, I'm seen by more. And as a young person, I thought, it'd be nice to have stuff. The stuff that you don't have, right? Money, I had friends who had money, they go skiing, they go shopping when they wanted, they do all that stuff, and you go, But then I got outside of that and I said, what I want to do is that I learned after my first job that when somebody tells you, you think you're better than this? The answer is always, yeah. So I went from collections to the restaurants. And the restaurants, I set records as far as revenue and creating in DC great sports bars. And records and collections, and then you get into the broadcasting, and then you realize that as a black man, especially if you go back into the 90s, there weren't a lot of black faces on television, especially depending on where you work. DC a little bit more, because it was a little bit more diverse. But when I went to Carolina, there weren't a lot of black folks on TV or on the radio. And so to put a black face on television, on regional television, covering the Panthers, like that to me, I was like, hey, when you know the rule, right? When mom tells you you're doing good,
you all right.
When mom, I had my sister tells the story of being in South Carolina on a weekend, and she was visiting her in-laws, and they were talking about, well, baby, on a Sunday morning, we go to church, and then we get home and we watch our TV show before football comes on. And my sister's there, and she's kind of oblivious to it, not really the sports fan, but she said she's there, and the whole neighborhood got together in this house. 40, 50 people got together to watch the show. She had no idea what the show was. Well, there on a Sunday morning after church pops on my Carolina Panthers TV show. And my sister thought it was a joke. And she said, this is what y'all doing? She said, yeah. She goes, that's my brother. And they're like, girl, get out of here. Like, no, seriously. And so the connection of, wow, how unique it was. Count that as one, that as a black person, I managed to find from this place in Virginia. Forget about DC, that was home, and that makes me prouder than anything I've ever done, was being on and being a voice for my hometown. But going to Carolina and getting a TV show and having it work, and then going to Salt Lake City, Utah. Yeah,
I hear you.
Hey.
Yeah.
But to get a radio show where David Stern and Karl Malone, Stockley, every great athlete, NBA guys, Charles Barkley, where they're coming in and you're talking to you, and I managed to be present enough to recognize that
This is pretty cool.
This is
Yeah.
a brother got a radio show in Utah. Stop playing. Stop playing. So, and then, yeah, right, that you're there. And I always joke, my friends always say, who are you? And I always say, I just start laughing because I've had several of those moments where you're in the moment and you go, what am I doing here? Yeah. Like the cops are coming to get me. Like, get off the TV, do you? Get off the radio. You know you don't belong on the radio. You from Green Valley. Get off the TV.
Yeah.
So that, and then the biggest achievement is every day that after having a scare where the chaplain's in your hospital room saying, hey, look, it's time to talk. And to be here over a year later, healthier than I was, happier than I was, certainly smarter than I was. That's what knowledge is when you know that there's something bigger than you, there needs to be something bigger than you, and that you need to humble yourself on a daily basis.
Yes, for sure.
To say thank you, thank you, thank you for everything, like this get together, us sitting here is a blessing. It's a gift. It's absolutely a gift because I get to give thanks and I get to appreciate it. And I went a full year where I tell people, listen, if you're not starting, if you have to think about the last time you said thank you, you're wasting.
Right.
You are wasting the blessings, man. They're coming. So on social media, I drop Sunday blessings every day, every week, because I have to say thank you. Because the greatest achievement is that I'm here.
Yes.
I'm still here because we all got boys that didn't make it.
Yes.
We got friends that didn't make it. We got family that didn't make it. So that's the biggest achievement for me is every day.
Okay. What is your definition of success?
Sunrise, baby. Sunrise, man. Look. Listen, after we talk about all of it, the sunrise, you open your eyes, man. You get
another day.
That's 20. That's another 24.
Yeah.
Yo, listen. I'm telling you, I was laying there with 27 blood clots and a saddle embolism that each one unto itself was there to take me home, to get me out of here. And God put me in the right place with the right people who were able to identify, treat, recover, build up. I mean, start with my wife who made the call, right? And who held my hand. And, you know, each, they say, make your obstacles into a miracle. That, I have sleep apnea, so I sleep with a mask, right? When I couldn't breathe, I did what I had done every day for the past 2 years, which was put that mask on so it would force air through my sinuses. That saved my life. Each thing. So every opportunity, every day is a gift.
Yes, it is.
Like I'm not going. There's folks who feel really good about not having. I'm bigger than this. I don't have to say that. Listen, I'm small in this world, bro. I'm small. I can say thank you a lot, and I'm not going home with a whole bunch of thank yous and I appreciate you and I love yous in my pocket. That's not where they belong.
You're giving them all away.
Hey, come get it.
That's good. What do you think it takes to achieve success? I know you said your definition is just seeing the sun, but just in general, what do you think it takes to achieve success?
Being present.
Yeah.
Being present, because each thing I could take whatever thing, and if I treated it as a small thing, you miss so much.
Yes.
And so there are all these folks who tell you that you can. And if I've given one thing to anybody, any of the players that I've been around, parents that I've been around, it's if I could talk to 10-year-old me and tell 10-year-old me what was going to happen in my life, I had to say, listen, old man, stop tripping. If I talk to 15-year-old me, 20-year-old me, 25-year-old me, 30-year-old me, in every case, everything when I thought, okay, I'm at the ceiling. No. I was never. God's plans for you are so much bigger than anything you could ever dream for yourself.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was always when people tell you that you have the chance. Being present means I listen to you. Being present means I'm actually not listening, not only listening, but hearing.
Right.
I'm hearing you.
And taking
And I feel you, right?
Yeah.
That if I'm in every conversation, if I'm in every interaction, and again, that empath thing where you kind of feel the energy of people around you, and you know when they're hurting, fill the gap. And every time I fill the gap, every time, it's real. My grandmother used to say, baby, you can't accomplish anything with your hand closed. See, once you open your hand to give, your hand's open to receive. You can't, this thing, amen, this thing allows a hug, a shake, a gift, to receive. It's a whole lot that happens with that. And that's every day, bro. Right there. That's success to me. Is if you're present enough to know that every person deserves your attention, then you win. Because how many good people you miss if you don't?
No doubt. No, just in here you talk about your experiences and opportunities and the way you feel about things. It comes about that you have some great relationships, and you develop those over the years. I think just reflecting back on opportunities in my life. You don't do anything on your own. You don't achieve anything on your own. A whole lot of people have looked out for me. Probably when I wasn't even deserving. What's one thing that you can say, or a few things, if you can just comment on building relationships. How you've done that in the past and how it's been beneficial for you.
I had to be willing to make mistakes and not punish myself for it. Because if you don't feel good about yourself, when you see other people in success or in the blessing or getting gifts, the resentment becomes the thing that you...
It's real.
Right? But then, when the light goes on and you go, no, I need to be closer to that. See, I pay attention. We're all a life full of phrases and things that we keep with us and carry with us. And I always say, I pay attention to what people lean in for and what they lean away from. Like those things say a lot. And now that you feel, if you're paying attention for good, if you're noticing good, if your purpose is good, if you want good in your life, you start with yourself. So I can't ask anything of you that I don't ask of myself.
That's it.
But then,
that's it.
But then, when we say, listen, you about good, I'm about good, let's do good.
Right.
Bruh, you can't lose.
You open up a multitude of opportunities, and not just saying opportunities, but just opportunities to give love.
I don't understand how people miss the point that love is why we're here. Like, that's why we're here. There's a book, a series of books by Neil Donald Walsh. It's called Conversations with God. And in that book, he talks about that every human interaction and feeling originates from one of two places: love or fear. And once you get to the point where you accept that it's one of those two things, life becomes simple. Right? Somebody hating on you, look, who are you mad at?
Right.
You ain't mad at me.
Yeah, what do you feel?
Like, what? Hey, I'm cool. And I've learned a long time ago that I'm able, with a smile and a hug, and with these ears and this heart of mine, that it's hard for people to be mad at me if I know that they're mad at me and I know why.
Right.
And it works for me because anger has never served me. It's never served me. When you understand that anger, hate, fear never serve, and that word serve has value, if it never serves you, then why would you encourage it? Why would you bring it into your world? It's somebody's lie to tell you, I got to thug out and be hard and I got to be, I need to be strict. Nah, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. That's not why I'm here.
Yeah.
You get through how you get through.
Right.
But that's not me. I'm able.
You just do you.
Hey,
I'm gonna do me.
I'm cool with you doing. Hey, that's your thing. But when you come here,
right.
when you come around me, I get to say in my space, in my vacuum. I get to ask, what are you putting in my vacuum? See, I get to control that.
Right.
And in this world, in this day and age, if you interact truly and authentically in person, it works. You cannot lose.
That's it. As we're talking, I've looked, a couple of times at your video, and I got to tell you, I truly love the heart and hand. Like that's amazing to me. Like just hearing you explain it, I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
I agree that the world, we all need more love, and I think you get what you give.
We're all these wonderful blends of the good and bad people in our lives. And when you talk about success, and Chris Ortiz and the giant shoulder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? All these good people, positive coaches, right? My thing is, if you want to live giant life, you got to be around giants.
That's it.
You got to pay attention because giants see stuff that you can't see until you show it to them. And I always say, listen, for every success in my life, there's a whole bunch of giants.
Yes, sir.
Right? There's a whole bunch of giants whose shoulder I stood on.
Ooh-wee.
Right?
Lots.
And so, say it. That's the other thing for me. Part of Love Prince is saying, love out loud. As parents, teachers, coaches, human beings, we're so capable of it and have it at such a high level, but we swallow it and it builds up. But why would you do that when the person that you're feeling that about deserves to hear it? They need to hear it. They want to hear it.
We all need it.
Show it.
Yes.
Right? Again, love without action misses some of the people. Say it out loud, love out loud. As a coach, me and that clap, me and that smile, I tell them, listen, I've been known to ask, crazy situation, I'll call a player over and look at me and go, where's your smile, man? Where's your smile? Because we playing a game. Like, this is, ain't no mortgage tied to this. I'm just saying, ain't no IRS looking at you, bro.
Hey,
we play with a smile.
You're supposed to have fun.
Hey, man, listen, right? Like, do that. And then the other thing was being able to slow down. Being able to chill. Being able to embrace the place that I'm in, the people I'm with. I always tell my players that when chaos happens, slow down. And chaos ceases to exist. No matter what situation, no matter what scenario, no matter what circumstance.
Take a deep breath.
Chill.
Mm-hmm.
Because the right thing is waiting. Always waiting. So every opportunity you get, every time you get to be in a situation, slow down and enjoy it. And then go.
There it is right there. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles. Lots of good nuggets that we can all take from and learn. Check out the Love Prince. It's amazing. And thank you guys for joining this episode of the Success Chronicles. We'll see you next time. God bless. Appreciate you.
How we roll, bro?
Hey,
Go get it.